Welcome to the In Love with PMDD podcast. I am your host, Dr. Rose Alcaton, your PMDD relationship psychotraumatologist. I help you stop the monthly PMDD breakups. I have personally been suffering with PMDD for over 19 years, and I published my dissertation directly towards the relationship experiences of partners of individuals who are suffering with PMDD. So although I have premenstrual dysphoric disorder, which is an approximately 1 in 20 women, makes you want to break up with your partner every single month right before your period, I also provide services and counseling services and programs specifically designed for partners for what they are going through with being in a relationship with someone who struggles with PMDD. There are so many aspects that affect PMDD relationships, whether it's PMDD rage, whether it's intrusive thoughts, whether it's just you not getting your needs met in your PMDD relationship and feeling like breaking up is your only option. I am here every single week to give you my signature trauma transformational tools that are going to help you and your PMDD partner to get through all of the stress that is going on in your PMDD relationship. And if this is something that you know that you need help with, then you need to join the PMDD Power Couples Group Counseling Membership. This is when we meet every single week. We go over what is specifically going on in your PMDD relationship, and you'll get a chance to get my customized PMDD counseling transformational tools. And then also, if you need a private session for you and your partner, you can go to inlovewithpmdd.com and get those PMDD relationship reset sessions. This is where I have private sessions with you every single week, every single month. We're checking in, we're mapping out your PMDD relationship. So let's get into today's episode. Today, I want to talk to you about soft love in your PMDD relationship. This is something that I discovered as I have gone through over a year of dating with PMDD, with premenstrual dysphoric disorder, intentionally dating. And what I mean by that is just rediscovering the type of partner, the type of individual that not only that I desire to be with, but that is conducive for my luteal phase. As I've spoken, to you earlier on other episodes, I've told you that so many times I've chosen partners when I'm in my follicular phase. I've tried to make it work when I'm in PMDD. And this particular time, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to make sure that whoever I chose to be my PMDD partner, my PMDD companion, was good for me in my luteal phase of PMDD, because it really does impact your symptoms. And as I'm in this realm of discovering what that looks like, if you're my private client, I always say to you, like, when you're describing what it is that you want, I always say, what does that look like? What does that look like? And the best way to describe this is the day in the life with the person that you want to be with. And when you're in your luteal phase, what is the best case scenario? And for me, it's kind of like working your way backwards. You have to understand the triggers. And this is different for everybody. For every one of my private clients, it is different for what we work on based off of what causes you the most suffering, what causes you the most stress. And then I get you the opposite of that. I get you the antithesis of whatever causes you the most stress in your PMDD relationship. This is for the partner that has PMDD and the partner that doesn't. I find out what causes you the most stress, and then I give you the opposite of that, and we map that out and see what that looks like. And for me, I was like, what causes the most stress in my PMDD relationships that I've been in the past? I don't regret any relationship that I've ever been in while having premenstrual dysphoric disorder. I've had it for over 19 years now, and I don't regret it. It's always taught me something. I've learned so much about myself. I relate so much to my private clients. Every partner that I've had, I've been very curious as to their experience, not just my experience of having PMDD, but their experience of being with someone who has PMDD. What does that look like for them? What is it that I can do to help them? What works? What doesn't work? So I don't regret any of those experiences, but I'm very aware now of what works for me specifically and what doesn't. And if any of this resonates with you, you're going to realize it very, very early on. And it is something that I was on a walk earlier today. I was walking my dog Leo, which I do every single day. If you follow me on Instagram, you know my PMDD partner's morning routine. And I was walking my dog Leo, and I was just baffled at how I'm in this relationship So I'm in this relationship with someone who is so, it's hard to find one word because I'm, it's so easy, right? And I know a lot of things when you're in a PMDD relationship are not easy. And I'm not saying it's always going to be like this. I can only speak on the phase of, relationship that we're in right now. But I remember choosing wisely. I have a mentor that told me this earlier in my journey, and I didn't really understand it when she said choose wisely. Choose wisely who you are choosing to spend your life with, who you are choosing to give your energy to, who you are choosing to connect to, because it's going to impact every other area of your life. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, it sounds, when someone says choose wisely, it sounds like, yeah, of course you're going to choose wisely. I don't think that I've always done that on my journey. I think I've been very impulsive with my choosing because I'm such an optimist. And so I've always been in this place of like, yeah, I'm just going to choose who I feel is right for the moment. And then anything else that we have to figure out, we'll figure out. I remember one time I was dating someone and they were like, what do you want me to do? Just drop everything that I'm doing and just fully commit to you and get married and all these things. And I'm like, yes, like for me, committing to someone is not an issue for me. I'm the opposite of an avoidant. I am very in it. I'm very secure when it comes to loyalty. I'm very secure when it comes to commitment. I'm very clear on what that looks like and what I want. And so I've gotten into relationships where people have said things and I've just assumed that whatever it is that they're saying is just going to come to fruition and that's it. And now that I've kind of taken my time with knowing that when I'm choosing wisely, it takes time to see who a person really is. And you really need to be in a level of flexibility with a person when you're dating. If you're married, that's a completely different story, or you're in a committed relationship. I'll speak on that in a minute. But when you're dating, before you commit, specifically with PMDD, you need to see, I noticed for me, I said 2 months, 2 months of full cycles, meaning ovulation, luteal phase, follicular phase, menstrual phase. I need to see how you react to me in 2 full cycles, because one cycle could be a fluke. You know how you have those months in PMDD where you're like, oh, that was a light month, and then the next month is complete hell. I need to see how you are. I would say 2 to 3. And again, for me, two is like that was a big deal for me. I was like, I waited a full 2 cycles before I like committed to being with this person because I'm such a monogamous person. I'm such a relationship person. Obviously, that's what I do. That's what I believe in. I don't believe that we're supposed to do life alone. I believe in connection. I believe in relationships. And specifically, if you have PMDD, I don't think it's something that you're supposed to suffer through alone. I don't think that your partner is supposed to suffer with you, but I mean, I think that you're supposed to be in a relationship to have that level of support. So when I'm dating, it was really hard for me to be casual. It was really hard for me to be casual. And I think the biggest way that I was able to be casual was saying, oh, I don't want a partner. And you can listen to the episode before that. I was like, I don't want a partner. I want a companion, which is what I have right now. And I'm so happy. I'm so at peace. And it's so new for me. It's so new for me to not be with someone that's like, we're getting married tomorrow and we're going to commit our lives to each other. And I need to know that I have that level of security in order to feel safe. And I'm cautious saying this, but I've honestly not felt this safe in a relationship in a very, very, very long time. And it was really hard wrapping my head around it because whenever something happens in my life that's really good, I try to go back to like, okay, what did I do to cause this? Like what, tool did I use? Because I'm trying to pass it on to you. And I've actually been doing less. I've been doing less and getting more. And what I mean by that, I've just been being myself. So when I started dating a year ago, it was all of these tactics and things like in the dating community. It's like, you need to do this and you need to not do this and you need to make sure this is, and there was so many rules and you're kind of like walking on eggshells a little bit because you're trying to do the right thing to get the right person. And there's so many games and ghosting and love bombing. And I've been through it all. And I'm grateful to have been through it all because it helps me with my clients. Like when they're talking about things, I know exactly what they're talking about. I've been in the midst of the love bombing, in the midst of the ghosting, in the midst of the manipulation, in the midst of the narcissist. I've been in the midst of all of it, so it's made me better. But I remember thinking to myself, I need to be very clear on what kind of individual I need in my luteal phase of PMDD, what kind of person that I need. And the best way to do that sometimes is just to go opposite. What don't you need? And that's what I recognized. I was like, okay, I know this from my past experience. And again, it's different for every single person. But for me, when I'm in my luteal phase, I can easily be triggered by my childhood trauma. So then it was kind of easy for me to kind of map out, okay, what is the opposite of my childhood trauma? What was my childhood trauma? My childhood trauma was a lot of verbal abuse, a lot of physical abuse. And within that, that's how I know when I go into my luteal phase, that's what we're talking about today, a soft love from the person that I'm with. I need a soft love. I can't do the harsh tone. I can't do the yelling, the screaming, the cursing out, the disrespect. I can't do the questioning as far as intention, the manipulation, the narcissistic tendencies. I can't do that in a PMDD relationship without my symptoms being impacted. So when I was looking at adding someone to my life, I was really like, I want to add someone to my life that are not going to make my PMDD symptoms worse. Obviously, I'm taking full responsibility for having premenstrual dysphoric disorder. What do I always tell you? PMDD is not my fault, but it's my responsibility to manage. So I'm not looking for someone that's going to make my PMDD easier or make my life easier. I am fully aware of what I need to do independently to manage my PMDD symptoms. And I just needed to make sure that whoever it is that I'm adding to my life, it is just going to be in alignment with that. Meaning whatever it is that I set up to do in my luteal phase to manage my PMDD symptoms, that they're not going to have an issue with it. Because for me, I'm such a giver that I don't want anything that I'm doing to make you feel bad about being in a relationship with me. Like if I'm doing a tool and I'm doing something that, I know that I need to do to manage my PMDD symptoms, I don't want it to hurt you, because then I'm going to have to make a choice between choosing myself or choosing you. Like, am I going to do the thing that I know is going to make my PMDD better? Or am I going to do the thing that's going to make you better being in a PMDD relationship with me? And I've made those decisions and I've abandoned myself. And then I've become bitter and resentful later on because I've suffered because of it. So I really just felt like I needed to be with someone that's in alignment with the life that I live in my luteal phase. My follicular phase, I have no issue. I have no issue being with anyone. I could be a chameleon because I'm so go with the flow. I'm so optimistic. I'm so like, I don't have an issue in my follicular phase being with anyone because I have that kind of level of emotional intelligence where it's like, I can adapt to different environments. If you're an extrovert, if you're an introvert, if you want to stay in, like I can find the joy in a lot of things, but in my luteal phase, I have to be very intentional. So I'm not saying that to brag. I'm not saying that to boast. I'm saying in my luteal phase, I have to be very intentional. I am not that person in my follicular phase. And I do have that split of my personality. And I have to like really not be ashamed of that. And I found the kind of, again, I will always tell you, I'm not going to be one of those people that are like, I love PMDD. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me. No, I'm not going to say that. PMDD absolutely does suck. But I do know that when I'm in my luteal phase, I can't just go with the flow. In my follicular phase, I can go with the flow and like everything's great. Even in ovulation for me, for menstruation, I have to be more intentional. But when I'm in my luteal phase, I have to really be in a place of like, what is it that is going to make my symptoms worse? And not feel ashamed for what that looks like. For me, it's a hard love. And I know from in the past that I don't fault any of the partners that I've been with that have given me that kind of like hard love, because I do have a very good balance of masculine and feminine energy, meaning I can be very masculine when it comes to getting things done. I can be very masculine, even in my morning routine when I'm getting up, because I do get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I do my PMDD partners morning routine and I do move my body and I'm very intentional about how I do my mindset. I'm very like motivational, and I have that aspect of me. But then I also have that aspect of me in my evening routine and my end of day. Like, I think I was choosing people for my morning routine without choosing someone for my evening routine. And that was mind boggling for me. I was choosing someone that was mirroring me. Like, in the morning, we're getting up early in the morning and we're working out and we're being super motivational and we're getting things done and we're setting goals and we're making stuff happen. And I wanted someone that appreciated that. And I really thought I needed someone to mirror that. I really did. I was like, if someone's going to know me, if someone's going to resonate with me, I need someone that's going to do the same routine that I did. So I prided myself on choosing someone. Honestly, truly, there's a small percentage of people that live the lifestyle that I live, from the hours of 5 a.m. I would even say 5 a.m. to noon. To noon, I'm in my masculine energy. I'm in my peak energy. I'm getting things done. After that, I kind of trail off into my feminine energy, where I'm kind of a little bit softer. I'm a little bit more open. I need extra care. Like, it switches for me. And this is on a day-to-day basis, whether I'm in my luteal phase or not. I've been on this journey of discovering myself, and I was like, why am I having issues with individuals when I'm in my luteal phase, when I asked for this? Like, I asked for someone to be super aggressive. I asked for someone to be super intentional and not passive and super like, let's get this done. And I value that in individuals. I really do value someone that's motivated, someone that's disciplined. But when it comes to the times of day where I want to connect and I want to feel loved, and I want to feel cared for, I was like, what time of the day is that for me? Because I'll be honest, in the morning, I just want to get up and get things done because I want to feel good about resting. I want to feel good about connecting. It's hard for me to connect with someone when I know that I have this long to-do list of things to do that I haven't gotten done. Like, my brain and my body won't allow me to relax and just to really lean in and be loving, which is one of my biggest tools. It won't allow me to do that if I know I have this long list of things that of responsibilities that I haven't taken care of. And that comes from years of being a single mom. My daughter is turning 16 this year, and I've been essentially a single mom for 14 out of those 16 years, because even when my ex and I were together, we were long distance. So I've always been doing the parenting thing by myself. I've always been running the business by myself. Multiple businesses. I have multiple endeavors and serving in my community. I've always been doing that on my own. And I've gotten to a place where I'm like, okay, I like to connect. Knowing this about myself, I like to connect when the work is done. When I can feel proud of myself, like, I got up, I got this done, I serve myself first. So I am very clear on that. Like, my boundaries are, I will pour into myself first, so then I'm able to pour into my partner, my clients, my daughter, my dog, like everybody. But I will choose myself first, because I know what that looks like, to be depleted and not have enough to give to someone, and to just be in that place of like pouring and pouring and pouring, and there's nothing in there. So I was like, okay, I had to like timeline this, and I challenge you to do the same thing. If you're thinking about this, what times of the day do you want to connect with your person the most? And for my private clients and even my exes, like, I had an ex where they wanted to connect in the morning. That was their time where they were going to start their day, but they wanted to lean in and be loving in the morning. And it was harder for me. It was really hard for me to connect in the morning, because that was my time to get the things done. So it was kind of like, when I was choosing someone that wanted to connect in the morning, it was hard for me to be present, and I felt really bad about that. But it's like, I can't be fully present if I'm not present with myself. And what would happen is I would switch and be like, oh, they want to connect in the morning. So I would neglect doing my PMDD partners morning routine, and I would always regret it. And I would become a little bit bitter and resentful, because I was pouring, like they say, I was pouring from an empty cup. I didn't have it in me. I did not have it in me, but I was giving it to the person because I felt like that was my responsibility. And so when I went into dating, I had to be very strategic, specifically for my luteal phase. I need to see that I can be with this person. And when I'm in my luteal phase and I'm doing my PMDD partners morning routine, it was kind of getting clear. Get clear on the lifestyle that you want to live. And you can do this for yourself. If you're dating, if you're single and you have PMDD, get clear on a day in the life in your luteal phase. And I did that. And I was like, okay, I would get up in the morning and I would do my PMD partners morning routine. And then after that, I would shower, get dressed, check in with clients. I would check in with my daughter. Because I homeschool her, and I would do all these things, and I would kind of do a day in the life of like when I would connect with my partner, what that would look like. And that was my kind of barrier. That was like, okay, can I be with this person and they're okay with that? Because I knew that it was a possibility that I wouldn't be okay with that if they weren't okay with that. Like I would switch it up. If I felt like they weren't going to be accepting of it, I would be like, oh, I'm not going to do that. And then that would impact how I showed up. And so I just really, it was this push and pull of thinking that I needed to orchestrate it, and I needed to, make it happen, because that's my masculine energy. It's like, make it happen. I had one of the colleges I went to was like, their motto was like, find a way or make it. What is it? Find a way or make one. And so I get in this masculine energy when I wasn't dating, and I was like, I need to find a way or make one. And it's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You need to find someone that is in alignment with the lifestyle that you want to live. That was the biggest like light bulb that came off for me. It's not about creating a person that is in alignment. It's about finding a person who's already in alignment, who already wants to do and be who it is that you need them to be. And I have that. And so when I was looking at that, I was like, okay, this is what my day in the life is going to look like. So between the hours of like 5 o'clock in the morning and noon, I'm in my masculine energy. I'm grinding. Can I pause and send a text message or call and check in? Absolutely. But I'm in go, 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 go. As my day goes, like when it comes to like noon and like maybe 5 or 6, like I'm winding down. And then when it comes to when I come home or whenever I'm done with work or done with client calls, I want to have this soft love that we're going to talk about today. That's when I want to lean into being with my partner the most. And I needed to choose someone that wanted the same thing, that I was providing them with what it is that they needed, because it's really important to me that I'm giving that person what they want too. Like I've been in relationships like where they're only doing things because I want them to do them, not because I'm asking them or demanding it, but it's like, if I want to be with Rose, I need to do these things. And that's not sustainable, because you end up doing things that you genuinely don't want to do, that's hard for you to do, but you're doing them just so you can be with me. And it's not sustainable. And I really was like, I don't want to put that kind of pressure or expectation on anyone else. And so what a soft love is in your PMDD relationship, it's being in a relationship where there's a lot of compassion, where there's a lot of patience that prioritizes emotional safety, emotional understanding, and support. It acknowledges the unique challenges of PMDD, premenstrual dysphoric disorder, with the emotional side, with the physical side, with the mental side. And it allows you to be in a relationship where there's a lot of grace and empathy. There's a lot of grace for how you show up. And what I mean by grace is understanding the struggle that you're going through and not blaming you for it, not shaming you for it, not thinking that you're maliciously doing it, but just having you be in a place where they're like, I understand how that could be hard for you. I can understand how that can be hard for you, and really understanding your journey. And so I want to talk about what that looks like. But before I get into that, I'm going to talk about how I knew that I needed a soft love in my PMDD relationship, because once I got that clarity, I feel like it just came to me. And I don't want to say that I manifested it. I don't want to say that I did all the tricks about. I just think that when I saw it, when I felt it, I knew that this is what I need. And I feel like a lot of times when you're dating with PMDD, like you don't know what you need until you know what you need. And what I mean by that, you don't know what you need as far as what that looks like when you find that person until you've gotten really clear with yourself, by yourself, of figuring out what kind of partner you need in your luteal phase. So I would challenge you to do that. I do this with all my private clients, even if you're already in a relationship, because we can always redefine relationships. We can always go back to the drawing board and say, you know what, we need a fresh start in our PMDD relationship, and it needs to look like this. And I do this for both partners. What does it look like during PMDD? What is it that you need? And for me, I can't believe it, but my love languages changed. Like when I spent some time with myself and really recognized what I needed in my luteal phase, I recognized how much of who I was had shifted from prior relationships. I would 100% tell you, do not go off of how you were in previous relationships and just assume that, oh, this is what I need. Like, look at yourself right now. Life is gonna, you're gonna change and grow and like always fall back on who you are right now and what it is that you need because it's gonna change over time. And if you're in a relationship, it's okay to change and shift with your partner, but you have to like do the work to make sure that you're shifting and changing and the other person knows how you're shifting and changing. So for me, I used to think that my love languages was words of affirmation. Absolutely. I would tell you all day words of affirmation. And and when I really got to know myself in my luteal phase specifically, like my love language is absolutely physical touch, which is like mind boggling for me. Physical touch is my love language. And then I would say words would come after it. Physical touch, I would say words, quality time, acts of service, and then gifts is still last. I love gifts and I've been with a lot of partners that love to give gifts. Like the person I'm in a relationship with now loves to give me flowers. Like my gifts are not elaborate. Like my gifts they have to be thoughtful and meaningful and just in alignment with all the things. But physical touch is a really big one for me. Kindness, gentleness, words that make me feel safe and secure. And that's what's been so helpful for me in my luteal phase. Feeling protected. I notice that when I have physical touch, I feel protected. I feel safe. I feel like I can be open. I can be vulnerable. It's not going to be used against me. And my PMDD symptoms are so much less because I feel like I have the grace. Like one of my biggest things is time management. And that's something that I'm always working on. I'm always trying to get better at it. It's a constant struggle. And I've just kind of gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, I do a billion things and I try to cram everything in. And I know that that lends to my time management. And so when I'm dating, I remember always thinking, or I'm in a relationship, I remember always thinking about how am I going to show up and have time to connect when I have all of these other things going on? And one of the things that the person that I'm dating does for me is to it's so good for my nervous system. Like when he comes to pick me up, when we go on dates, when we go out, and I'm like rushing because I can get in my brain, especially when I'm in my luteal phase, I can be all over the place. I got to do this and I got to do that and I got to do this and he's always so calm to my crazy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to do this thing. And he's like, take your time. Just him saying, take your time regulates my nervous system to not feel like he's waiting on me. He's going to say something about me being late, all of these things. And when I say late, I mean 5-10 minutes, like all the things. I'm not leaving you for like an hour, But I mean, my biggest thing with time management has always been if I'm running a little bit late doing something, it's because I'm helping someone else. So that was always my discrepancy with people that I'm dating or in a relationship with that made me feel bad about being late. It's like, you know me. If you're dating me, if you have a behind the scenes impact on my life, like you know what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, you know I'm not wasting any time. I'm always doing something. And so if I'm late, it's because I'm helping someone else. And so I need you to have that level of grace. And that's where the soft love comes in. It's like, I have grace. I know you have a lot on your plate. Like I told you about that date that I was on early in my journey, almost a year ago, actually, where I was like spending time with my daughter right before I was going on a date. And they literally like had such an attitude because I was like 10 minutes late. And I was like, if I feel like it's gonna, cause me more stress and overwhelm, my brain, especially in PMDD, is like, what's the point? Like you're always gonna disappoint them. And, like I need the flexibility. I need the grace. I need the grace to be like, okay, I understand that what you're going through. I know that you're not late maliciously. Like, I'm just happy to see you. So whenever he comes to pick me up, he's always on time, which I respect and I love. And then when I'm like, oh my gosh, babe, I'm on my way, blah, 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 he's like, take your time. Take your time, beautiful. Take your time, beautiful. For me, it's like, thank you. And again, I don't, I don't take that for granted and think that he may not be irritated or he may not be annoyed that I'm running 10 minutes late, but he's able to regulate his emotions in a sense of like, he's not going to make me feel bad about being 10 minutes late because of some rigidness. Like I can't do rigidness of like, it needs to be like this I can't do that because guess what? Remember what I told you earlier? When I'm in the morning, I'm in my masculine energy. I'm on a schedule. I have to do this. I have to do that. I already do that in my day-to-day life. I can't do that in my personal life as far as connecting with my partner because then I never have a break. I feel like I have to always be on. And in your nervous system, when you feel like you always have to be on, like you don't have the opportunity to have any times where you just have this level of flexibility, it's horrible. It's horrible because you feel like you're always walking on eggshells with yourself. You're like, I got to do this for my partner. I got to do this because you feel like if you don't do it, they're going to be pissed off and mad and irritated. And then it's going to be a problem in your relationship. And so what a soft love does is the first thing is it validates your emotions. I was in the car with the person I'm dating. I feel like I should. I feel like because I declared that I don't want a PMDD partner and I have a PMDD companion, I just don't feel weird about I just feel weird about being like my PMDD companion. But I will just say the person that I'm in a relationship with. I guess I'll say my person because I feel like I keep repeating. I'll just say my person. My person validates my emotions. There was, and he's very intuitive as far as feeling emotions. I didn't even know that I needed that. Where I don't have to overly explain if the vibe is off. Like, you know me, if you follow me on social media, I'm all about good vibes only. Obviously, when you're in your luteal phase, it's not good vibes all the time, but like you can try. Like you can try. And so he said the other day, it was like quiet in the car. I was feeling some type of way about something and I really didn't want to say it. So I was like, I don't know if this is an issue. And we were in the car and it was just like silent. And he's from another country. And so there's like a language thing. And so I think it's so cute because the way he said it, I was just like, what? He was like, you got a problem with me? But it wasn't like in a confrontational way. And I was like, what? And then he said to me, he looked at me, he was holding my hand, again, physical touch. And he was like, if you have a problem with me, if you have an issue with me, like you can tell me, just let me know. So there was this validation of my emotions and kind of like saying like, I'm not going to get offensive. I'm not going to get defensive. I just want to know if you have an issue. Like if the vibe is off, just like, let me know. So it wasn't about dismissing or minimizing my experiences during my luteal phase because I did. I was in PMDD and I woke up with all of these thoughts but I knew it was a me thing. I knew it was a luteal phase me thing. And so I wasn't trying to project that on him, but he felt the shift in energy. And he was like, you got a problem. So when you have soft love in your PMDD relationship, they're validating your emotions. I said, yeah, like, I think it was a situation where we didn't cuddle. Like, because I know my love language is physical touch, we didn't cuddle. Like, we were spending time together, but we didn't really cuddle. We are kind of talking, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't think it was malicious or anything, but I just, I miss that part. A lot of times when you have an issue with your partner, it's not about you have an issue with them. It's like you're missing something. You're missing those words of affirmation where they're validating you. You're missing that physical touch. You're missing that quality time. You're missing something in your love language. And you need to be aware of that because it is going to shift your vibe. If you have unmet needs, like check yourself. You're missing something that you actually want from them. So it's not about getting mad at them because they're not giving you something. It's like, no. You genuinely want something from them and it's loving. And so you should be able to just tell them. So we were in the car and I looked at him and he had such kindness and gentleness in his approach. He's like, you can just talk to me. You can just tell me. And that was the next thing, that patience and understanding. He was recognizing that when I had that irritability, meaning my mood shifted a little bit and emotional sensitivity, I'm in my luteal phase. I'm a little bit more sensitive to not cuddling, right? You know what I mean? So then all I did was put, because he normally would have his hand on my leg when we were driving in the car, and I just took his hand and I just put it on, I held his hand and I put it on my leg and I was like, that's the problem. That's the problem that I had with you. And he's like, okay. That's the next thing, the non-reactive communication, responding with calmness and curiosity rather than defensiveness and frustration. He was just curious and like, what is it? Like, listen. And if you're in an intimate relationship, your partner knows, like the vibe is off, something's off, the mood is off, like just tell me what it is. And he responded, he didn't get defensive and be like, what's the big deal? I'm always, being physically affectionate with you. Like, why are you, having an issue with me now? I guess I'm the bad guy. There was none of that. It was like, thank you for letting me know. Now I can put my hand on your leg and we're good. I was floored at how easy that was. Like my mood shifted because I wasn't getting the physical touch that I desired and deserved. And then he asked me about it. And then I told him about it. And then he just did it. And it was like, no big deal. He's like, yeah, like we're good. And that was new for me, for it to not even have been an issue, specifically in my luteal phase. A lot of times you're reacting in your luteal phase with PMDD rage and all the things because you're not getting needs met and you're feeling the need to fight for your right, like in that masculine energy, like I need to let them know about, versus just communicating gently and calmly and letting them know. I always tell you, if you're my private client, let's handle the situation at the lowest level before it escalates. Like let's talk about it when it's just I woke up and I didn't get the hug that I normally get, or we're in the car and he didn't put his hand on my leg, or, I'm out here and they didn't call me today, or they didn't text me, or I didn't get, like when you first get that first twinge of like, I don't like this. This is something I'm not comfortable with. This is what I want, blah, blah, blah. Whatever that first thing is, address it with your partner in a calm way and see if they're willing to just respond. And that's the soft love. The soft love is, oh baby, like let me put my hand on your leg. And I'm like, oh, like it's hard for you to react in a way of PMDD rage and all those other things when that's their response. Like if you're saying I have an issue with you, not putting your hand on my leg or not holding my hand or not opening the door, or whatever it is that you're wanting, whatever your love language is that you're needing, and they're responding lovingly, like, come here, come here, come here. I got you. I love you. I got you. I care about you. I want your needs to be met. I'm sorry about that. Like, I'm going to be there for you. You can't go off on someone that's literally talking to you like that in your luteal phase. Like, even if you're in the peak of PMDD, and your partner's like, oh, if you come to your partner and you're like, I don't like that you did this and blah, 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 blah. And they're just like, okay, thank you for bringing it to my attention. Like, I'm going to make sure I do that. I'm going to do it right now. Changed behavior. Like, you're going to be mad at them because they missed the mark and they're admitting it and they're taking accountability, which is so huge. A lot of times, if your partners would take accountability or if you would take accountability, nothing would escalate. If someone is literally coming to you with the white flag and they're like hands in the air, like, I didn't see it that way. Like, I'm so sorry. I never want to make you feel bad. What can I do? What can I do to make it better? I'm sorry. It's on me. It's on me. Let the ego go. Let the pride go. I understand if you didn't intentionally do it. Like, yes, he could have been like, oh, I didn't mean to not touch your leg. Or talking about what you didn't do doesn't make it any better. It's like, just do the thing. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I would have loved it. Like if your partner comes to you and be like, I would have loved it if you would have gave me a kiss before you left this morning. And they're going on and on and on and talking about how they would have loved if you would have given them a kiss before they left this morning. And they're defending to you why they didn't give you the kiss. I was busy with this and I was busy with that. Just stop what you're doing and kiss the person. Kiss your partner. Like that's it. That's all they're wanting. They're bringing it to your attention to get the thing. So instead of trying to defend yourself and being the ego and the pride and all those things, just do the thing. And so the next thing that happens when you're in a soft relationship is you give space when needed, but you're remaining emotionally available and supportive. This is the balance, right? So we have individuals that can become avoidant, where when you're in your luteal phase, you just want to be in a hole and you just want to isolate yourself and you just want to be like, I'm on my own, blah, 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 blah. But when you are in a situation where you have soft love, you're giving your partner, like, for example, I was talking to my person earlier today And they're like, oh, because we talked last night and they were like, oh, we're going to spend time together this evening. But they were like, oh, I'm going to go out with my friends. So I don't know how that's going to work, blah, blah. And I literally text back and I'm like, go have fun with your friends. Like, I want you to have fun. I want you to have fun with your friends. And it's not a situation where I could be like, oh, I'm gonna be pissed off because he's having fun with their friends. I'm still emotionally available and supportive, even though I'm telling you that you can take the space that you need. So I think communicating the boundaries of like, hey, it's a Saturday night. Like, I want to have fun with my friends. Like before we dated, like I did this with my friends. Like I'm a very balanced person when it comes to, obviously, because I do a billion things. Like I want you to do the things that bring you joy. And it's a balance of, I'm not telling you to go do your thing and I'm not going to be emotionally available. When you have a soft love, you're respecting the boundaries. The boundaries are, I understand we're spending all this time together, we're in this relationship, but I also need time to spend with my friends. So I need the balance of that. But for me, it's like, I'm also going to be emotionally available for you and supportive. I'm going to be supportive of you spending time with your friends. And if you want to text me, call me, while you're there, like there's nothing. I did that last night. I was out dancing, like a lot, dancing with my friends. And he called me and I stepped outside and we talked. And it was such a soft love because it was like he was respecting the fact that I was out with my friends, but he just wanted to talk. And I was still emotionally available. You can get to the point where you're avoidant, where you're like, I'm doing my thing. Like, why are you bothering me? But no, you still can be emotionally available while you're respecting the boundaries of your person. Meaning you can respect the fact that they need space, but if they call you while they're taking space, you can still be emotionally available. You can't be like, oh, thought you wanted to be on your own. What are you doing calling me? Like, don't be petty. When you're respecting their boundaries, if your partner says, I need to go on a walk in order to calm down because I'm in PMDD rage and I have all this stuff going on, because, I'm a big proponent for taking space. If you're in that situation where your partner is taking space and then they come back, don't have an attitude when they come back. That's not soft love. That's not being supportive. That's being petty. That's being in the ego. It's like, oh, now you want to talk to me? Yeah, chicken nugget. Like maybe I needed to take a walk in order to get to that place. This is how you can miss. This is how you can be one person be doing the work or you miss it. Meaning one person go on a walk and they regulate their emotions, they come back, but then the other person doesn't want to talk to them. The other partner doesn't want to talk to them because then they have an issue with the fact that you didn't stay in the argument or the fight. And because you walked away, because they're not respecting your boundaries and understanding that it's a healthy thing to do, because they're just wanting to get their needs met and that's it. They're not thinking about how you're feeling in your capacity. Then it becomes an issue with you having boundaries because one person is not respecting them while being emotionally available. You should feel good about the fact that your partner is setting boundaries that make them feel good. Like I wouldn't want to be with my person and know that they had a full social life and then now they're with me and it's like all about me and they're not doing anything that they used to do to have fun. No, you genuinely should want the best for your partner. And I genuinely want the best. So I'm like, if you want to go have fun, go have fun. And he was so grateful. He's like, oh my gosh, you're so supportive. Thanks, babe. And I'm like, yeah, go have fun. Like, this is not a prison. This is not like, we're not locked in here where you can't go anywhere. And the next thing when you have soft love is shared responsibility, helping with daily tasks and responsibility when you feel overwhelmed or fatigued. One of the biggest ways that my person did this for me was I travel a lot. And I saw this early on, how they were willing to share some of the responsibility when I had an early morning flight. And he was like, oh, you're going here. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, send me your itinerary. And he was like, okay, I'll be there at this time. I'm like, for what? I'm like, this airport is pretty far. And he's like, yeah, I'll be there. That's what I mean by the shared responsibility. He volunteered to take me to the airport every time I travel. He's like, I'll be here at this time. Like, don't worry about it. And I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, I'll take you to the airport. Like, that's what I mean by shared responsibility. When you have a soft love, they're looking for something to take off of your plate. I didn't ask. And you may be in a situation where you have to ask because maybe you tell them and then they don't just really instinctively do it. But when you have a soft love, they're looking, this person wants to do something to make your life easier. They want to do something to make your life better because I guarantee you that there's something that you provide for them that makes their life easier. There's something that you do for them And I'm going to get into that on the other side. It's very reciprocal. It's not like I'm just getting, and I'm not like giving on a sense, but I'm definitely doing way less than I was doing before. And the next thing is the unconditional support, being in a steady source of love and reassurance when your emotions feel unpredictable. Like if you're feeling moody, if you're feeling emotionally sensitive, if you're feeling rejected, and there was a time last week where I was deep in my luteal phase and we were both busy with our schedules. We both work a lot and we didn't text or talk that day. And for me, that's really huge because communication is really big for me, although, especially when there's no physical touch. Like if I told you physical touch was my love language and then we're not talking or touching, like that's huge for me. And so I remember going throughout that day and really thinking like, I don't know, I was in the ego. I will tell you, I was like, oh, I don't want to be the one that like reach out, blah, blah. I'm going to wait and see. Well, the day went by and I waited and saw like nothing happened. And then the next day he reached out and I just was open and vulnerable. I didn't put the wall up, which a lot of times you can do when you feel offended or you feel rejected. Specifically in your luteal phase, you can put this wall up and it's like, I don't want to tell the person what I'm really feeling, like they should know or they should fix this or all these things. But I was like, I feel like you forgot about me. There's so much power and vulnerability that I think is undervalued. A person that genuinely says what they mean in their luteal phase, not what they think that you want to hear, not like, I'm fine when you're really not fine. No, 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 no. I thought you forgot about me. And initially his response was, you crazy. And he was laughing because he was pretty much like, forget about you. Like, what are you talking about? And when he recognized that I was not playing, because I was just like, blink, blink. He did, what he did was, he did the next tool, which I'm telling you, which is reassurance without resentment. He offered me support without making me feel guilty for the fact that I was having that emotional reaction of feeling rejected. He literally said, I'm sorry if I hurt you. I'm sorry if by me not reaching out, that it hurt your feelings. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's not my intention. I love you. I care about you, all the things. And that was literally the end of it. I was like, oh, it's okay. Like, thank you. It really validated that's what soft love looks like when you're in conflict. And I don't even know if I could call it conflict, but I guess that was it. But it was short. That's how I know it was short lived because it was kind of the situation where it's kind of like I had an issue and my issue was, again, not getting my needs met. A lot of the issues that you have with your partner is just not getting your needs met. I wanted more attention. And I've gotten to the point where I'm so open, I'm so vulnerable. I'm not going to feel bad about, if I'm with a person, I'm not going to feel bad about wanting love, affection, attention, validation. That's what I want. That's why I'm in a relationship. Like, duh. And he offered me that reassurance. And he didn't feel resentful, like, why would you think that? And blah, blah. Because then you start talking about things that don't really matter. Like, what does it matter why I thought it? The fact is, I felt like I wasn't getting the love, affection, attention, validation that I needed on that specific day. Like, I had a really hard day. And you don't even have to explain yourself, even if you didn't have a really hard day. I wanted to talk to you. And then he said, when we saw each other in person, he's like, babe, why didn't you just call me? And that's when I had to recognize, I was like, dang, I was in the ego. Cause he'll never not answer my call. Like if I call and he's not available, he'll immediately text me like, hey, I'm with a client, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, cool. So it was kind of like, it wasn't like a bitter, like, what you mean? Like, why didn't you just call me if you wanted to talk to me? It wasn't that. It was kind of like, I'm here. Like, you can call me anytime, but why didn't you call? Like, basically a curiosity mindset. When you have a soft love, they genuinely want to know, what is the barrier? Like, what was the barrier with me just reaching out and asking for what it is that I needed? For me, that was the ego. Cause it's like, I don't want to be the one. That's me coming out of the dating world where there's so many rules of you need to do this and you can't do this before this. And I was in the ego when honestly, I could have just called. I could have just been like, hey babe, I'm thinking about you. And he was like, oh, like it's the soft love that immediately when I talk to him and he answers the phone, I immediately feel seen, heard, validated immediately. He's like, hey, baby, what's going on? And I'm like, there it is. That's it. And a lot of times, some of you, that's just what you need. You just need to know that you're with a person that stops the world to put their focus on you for that moment. Does it last? Need to last for 40 days and 40 nights? No, but you need to know that you're that special, and you are. That you're that special to someone to just stop and be like, my baby's calling me. My darling is calling me. My love is calling me. Whatever you want to call them. And then the next thing is that self-regulation. So it's the non-PMDD partner, the PMDD partner that's practicing regulating their emotions to avoid escalating the conflict or misunderstanding. If your partner is bringing something to you who suffers with PMDD and you feel like they're bringing something to you that, you're not doing it intentionally, but you're feeling like you're getting attacked and you're getting criticized, when you have soft love, you're just like, I'm not going to get defensive. I understand that they're genuinely wanting something from me that is from me. I think you should be grateful. For me, it's like if I'm reaching out to you, and I say this from a lot of times my private clients, if they're reaching out to you to get something, they're not trying to get it from anyone else. They're trying to get it from you. There's 8 billion people in the world, and they're putting that onus on you. Like, I want love, affection, attention, validation from you. I would be honored. I genuinely do feel that way in relationships. When someone chooses me, I feel very honored. Like, wow, you could be with anyone. Does that lower my self-worth? Like, do I not think I'm amazing? No, yes, I know I'm amazing, but I'm not taking it for granted that like I always tell you, in an intimate relationship, you're the only one that can provide that level of intimacy to your partner. They can't just go get sex and love and affection and attention from anybody. They get it from you. They get that from you. You're their person. So if they're wanting more of that from you, that's where the soft love comes in. And so I'm going to go into, a part 2 of this, but I just want you to recognize that having soft love in your PMDD relationship definitely does regulate your nervous system, make your PMDD symptoms less. And it gets you into this place where you go from, even if you can get to the realm of PMDD rage, you go from crazy to calm. Like, you go just like, it just calms you down so much to where you don't feel the need. Even if you feel the urge, you don't feel the need to overreact and to act out of character, which I think is a gift within itself. It's like, I can have something trigger me. I can make up a story in my mind. But if I have a partner that's giving me soft love and they're able to initially reassure me, there's no need to go to level 5 of Jumanji. Like, I don't need to go, crazy about something. If as soon as I mention it to my person, they're like, oh, I'm sorry, babe, I didn't mean that. Taking accountability is like lowering it's like, wow, so you get me. So you understand why that impacted me, and you're reassuring me that that wasn't your intention. Thank you. And you're willing to move on and not be bitter about the fact that I brought it up. So now I feel emotionally safe with bringing up anything that's going on with me. It's strengthening our intimacy. That's it. That's it. Like, self-love is the move. So I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, but I just want you to know, if self-love is something that, and I know that it's not natural for everyone. I want to say that if you're in a relationship where you don't experience self-love, where you just feel emotionally safe and secure, and you feel like you can say anything to your partner, they're not going to go off, you're not going to have to be walking on eggshells. This is something that you can learn. This is a skill that you can learn. For some people, it comes naturally because it's just their personality. Like, they're not, and not even a realm of people pleasing. They're just very well aware of like emotions, which is, I feel like my partner, my person is very well aware, like, of the shifts in the moods and stuff that comes naturally to him, whether he's trying to do it or not. He notices the shifts in mood. And so it's easy for him to address the shifts in mood. And for some of you that it doesn't come natural, you can learn this. This is a skill that you can learn. Go to the link in my bio, go to the link in the show notes, go to inlovepmdd.com, and I can work with you and teach you or your partner how to get to that point where you are showing up with the soft love, not the aggressive, defensive criticism spiral and loop of fighting and arguing, and no one feels safe, and you feel like you're fighting against your partner, and you didn't get in a relationship to go to war. So if you're in the realm of you're like, I'm tired, I am tired, I'm exhausted, I'm tired of fighting, tired of defending, I'm tired of, all of these things of trying to convince people. Like that's where I was. I was just in this place of just being like, I'm done trying to do all these forcing. I think that's the biggest thing is I didn't want to force anymore. I was tired of forcing and I just got to the point I'm like, well, I'm not going to force anything anymore. It is what it is. I'm going to sit back and see how a person is and then see if I want to allow them to be into my life. And that, again, that's for me with dating in my luteal phase and PMDD. I'm going to sit back because if you orchestrate this whole scenario and you do all these things and blah, 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 and then a person shows up the way you want, you know that they're only showing up the way that you want because of the things that you're doing, not because that's what they're genuinely going to do. A lot of you need to just really take a step back and just see who you're with. Take a step back, see who you're with, and then you can decide what you need to work on. But if you're always pushing and forcing and telling and nagging, you need to do this and you need to do that, you're never going to know who they truly are and what they're truly willing to do, because who they are and what they're truly willing to do, that's what's going to be sustainable because it's them. And you just need to know who you're with, specifically for PMDD, because you need to know what is going to be sustainable. And if that's something that you need clarity on, once you get to that point and you're like, okay, I know who I'm with and I know what I need. Like I told you earlier, how I had to have that clarity of knowing what it is that I needed. If you need to go through that journey of getting clarity with that, go to inlovewithpmdd.com, get those counseling sessions. And until next time, we got this. I love you. I hope these tools help you and your PMDD partner. If you have not enrolled to get the course, My Partner Has PMDD, now what? Then you want to make sure that you are one of the first 12 individuals that gets the course for the month of December to get that complimentary private session with me. And then after that, it'll go back to regular price without the private sessions. But what this course is going to do for you is give your partner all of the tools that they need on how to be a supportive PMDD partner. What does that look like? I always say that your partner doesn't need more information. They need more implementation. They need more transformational tools. And this is the program for you. So I'm looking forward to you getting those tools in the program. And until next episode, we got this.